Yeah, so last time we talked about the culture thing, language is, one way, like I think I told you that even in Japan, in Korea, in Taiwan, in China, the Asian language, we will write the similar character, but it will be pronounced differently, depends on different dialect, right? So that's why I don't know if you guys are like have any Asian friends. So for us, it's easier to, if you write something down, we will understand better than when we listen. We're like, what? Like you say, Popeye? Pop rocks. See, I now finally get it. Like I thought he said Papa, but it's Pop rocks. So I was like POPROCKS. Yeah. So if you write it down, be like, oh, Pop rocks. So that's the difference. And like to us, we were like when I started, when I came here, I had to go through the English program, and then in the English program, we have some European friends, we have some South American friends, and they doesn't have issue talking, listening to Americans. And the Asians, we always like, excuse me, what? But we don't have issues reading or writing the English. Yeah, we can read better than a lot of Europeans, and then we can write better than a lot of other non-Asian people. So that's because of this. Okay. So the most important language, we had to talk about it, but English is the most important language, right? So after English, a lot of people would think maybe Spanish, but actually the next one is Chinese. Okay. Anybody interested in learning Chinese? No? 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 Okay. French? Anybody speak French? No? So English, Chinese, and French are the most important language in business, and then Arabic. So actually Spanish is the fifth, okay? So if you can, anybody are interested in speaking Arabic? No? So this one actually have, you have French, you have Shukran. I think Shukran is Arabic, right? Is it? Shukran. Yeah, I think it is. Because that's what I learned in Egypt. They told me, thank you, is Shukran. And this is Korean. Yeah, and this is, I think, oh, this is also, I don't know what it is. This is probably also Arabic. This is Japanese, Chinese. Yeah, so will you guys be interested in learning any other language? Anybody use Duolingo? Nobody? No, not at all. Have you ever thought about it? No? Oh, I just realized we have only male here today. Yeah. So yeah, my daughter is learning Korean on Duolingo, and she was actually pretty good. So in addition to language, the reading, the written language, we also have unspoken language. Like sometimes the facial expressions, the hand gesture. Is it gesture or gesture?
Gesture.
Gesture, right? Yeah, gesture. And then sometimes the personal space, like you've been to Europe. So in Europe, their personal space is much, much closer, right? But here, if I get too close to you, feel uncomfortable, right? Yeah, me too. Like I'm like here too long. I remember when I grew up with female friends, we used to hold hands, and then we used to go to bathroom together. Yeah, when we grew up, like 3, 4 of us, we go to bathroom together. Yeah. Yeah, go to the same bathroom, not, yeah. So that was even till college. Yeah. So, but now I would not be comfortable doing that. Like now, if my friend like holding my arms, I'll be like, ooh, you know, yeah. So it's different, yeah. But that's those are the body language, okay. And so sometimes, like in Japan, you know, you have to like observe your surrounding, okay. So like Japanese, they are very what's the word? They are very maybe polite, like they won't tell you if they don't like something. Okay, they won't tell you. So my daughter's best friend is a Japanese. So like a few weeks ago, I took them to this oh, I forgot, like they have to go to this closed place and they have to solve the puzzle together. Escape room, yes, escape room. So I took them to escape room. And then after they are done, I said, so do you guys like it? So I asked one, you know, one by one. So I asked the Japanese girl, I said, hey, do you like it? She said, okay.
What? Oh, it's so much fun.
So when she said okay, that means she doesn't like it. If she like it, she'll be like, yes, I love it, you know. So that's the, you know, that's the, and my daughter, she's like, you know, then I know because it's only 3 of them, and then they were team up with a family, and the family just ignored it. The family didn't ask them to like get involved. They were just sitting there. They didn't do anything. So it's just kind of boring.
They gotta give it another try. It's just so much fun. So much fun.
Okay. So yeah, they just like waste our money, and you know. Oh, speaking of that, she didn't pay me the money. So she's tricky. She used my credit card to pay for her friends and her, and then she collect money from her friends. But she need to give me the money from, you know, yeah, she's sneaky. So yeah. So so sometimes we have to read the cues, and sometimes we might not understand, like with different culture, people's facial expression or the reaction might be a little bit different, right? So that's something that we have to kind of understand. But this is just some examples. Like this is like, you guys know this is okay, right? Did you mean this okay when? Yeah, right. Okay, so it's like, so in US, in Germany, it's like, okay, great. Mexico, and then in France, it's 0, worthless. Okay, and then in Japan, this is like, oh yeah, sometimes for us, for Asian, this means money, like coins. Okay, so yeah, and then the Tunisia, it's like a thread of probably in Spain. I don't know, anybody from Spain? This one I didn't cover, I just looked it up online. So Spain, Paraguay, Brazil, Uruguay, it's insult. And in Russia, it's just 0. Okay. So, and thumbs up in US, Russia, it means good, right? Approval. In Iran, it's very offensive, like, I don't know. And Australia means this is rule. Yeah. So this one in US means peace, victory, or like a lot of in Asian country. I don't know if you guys see a lot of girls when they take picture, they do this. Just mean yeah. It's like why, right? And in Italy, it's also, it says it's like if it's this way, it's rule. Okay, so in different places they have different like meaning. Okay. And then colors. I think I told you about the cafeteria, put the white lantern, white stuff to decorate for Chinese New Year. And white is like for funeral in Chinese culture. So we like red, like, you know, so when I go play mahjong, gamble, we need to make sure we wear something red so we will win. Yeah. So so for this, I don't know what you guys see. So pay attention to the details. Like this is in red, but you see it actually go up. Okay, and when it go down, it's green. So what about in US? Opposite, right? Green means like good, go up, and then red is down. So I remember one year I had a business trip to US and I turned on TV, and when I see stock market, it's all green. And I was like, what's going on? How come that? How could this be all green? And I thought like stock market crash or something. And then I pay attention to the details. I realized, oh, it's actually going up. So it's totally different. Yeah, because red is considered lucky. So everything red is like go up. Yeah.
This is Japan.
This is Taiwan, but Japan is the same.
Oh,
Japan, Korea, all the same. Red. Yeah.
that's all.
I don't know if it's all. I don't know about like Indonesia or India. I have to do that. We can next time I'll pay attention. Thank you.
Don't you guys have like Chinese, Chinese, like.
Yes. Yeah, red envelope is for like Chinese New Year, like birthday or wedding. We don't do gift registration. We don't give gift, we give cash. So put cash in red envelope. Yeah. So yeah, so like on my mom's birthday, on Mother's Day, on the Chinese New Year, we just give her red envelope. Only cash. You don't like if you buy something people don't like. You know, people will be like, and then people actually will calculate. Yeah. And so that's what I usually do because, you know, we always give cash. So when my daughter was in elementary school, I always give a bus driver or the teacher gift card. That's what I do. I know a lot of moms, they were able to make something really nice and they can wrap it really nice. I can't do that. I can only do cash. Yeah. Because, you know, I was never trained or I never grew up to do those kind of stuff. And a lot of my friends can make cookies really nice and then they find this nice bag and then they'll pack it and then, you know, make nice bowl. Not for me. So, yeah. So that's the difference. Yeah. So for the red envelope, I'm glad you bring it up. Like for funeral, we don't give flowers. We give white envelope. So white envelope is for like a funeral. For funeral, that's, you know, someone died really young, like younger than 70 years old. If someone died older than 70, 80 years old, you give pink envelope. So it's kind of sad to lose a family, but it's good that this person lived that long. So you use pink instead. Yes. What else? What else can you put in? Oh, yeah, for funeral, always money. Only one exception, like when my daughter is 1 month old, some people give red envelope, some people will give gold. Like the gold necklace, gold, like what do you call this? Bracelets, and then, you know, all gold stuff, pure gold. So that's the only pure, I can bring it next time. Gold with some like red ties or whatever. I can bring it next time. Something really tiny, it's not like very heavy, it's just something very thin, but for babies. Yeah. So that's the different. And then this guy here, Hosted, he actually studied at the time. How many of you still know what IBM is? Oh, IBM. Yes. Yeah. So IBM, I don't remember either, but IBM was like the top company when I was student. Okay, like all the computer we have has IBM. Yeah.
I was just gonna say it stands for International Business Machines.
Oh, internet. How do you know? Are you?
From a movie.
Oh, International Business Machine. So they are like the first one that kind of invented the computer. Okay, so Have you guys heard of ThinkPad? The notebook? So that was the first thing they sold out of their business. So after they sold ThinkPad, they are out of the personal computer. They used to sell a lot of, personal computer. And then now they are in the cloud business. Yeah. But IBM used to be like the top company. They have more than 100,000 employees all over the world. And so this guy have made a survey with IBM employees because they are all over the world. So he found kind of like 5 categories that we can look at to see different culture. Okay. So first one is power distance. How people respect the power, like powerful people, powerful figure. Okay. And how much distance are you from the powerful people? Like when you talk to professors, you feel like the professors can be your friend. A professor is actually like, I wouldn't say above you, but we kind of have certain power over you, right, students? But in US, professors and students are like, they can be friends. But when I was a college student, when I see professor, I would say, professor, like, how are you, professor? And then when professor was walking on the hallway, I would be like this. I will be hiding like by the side. I will how do I say, save a huge space for the professor. So that's the power distance. Like I wouldn't say no to the professors. But you guys, different complaints and yeah. So like my daughter surprisingly, she had some confrontation with a teacher, and she emailed the teacher. She's like she said that I don't think that you respect but I think her email was actually polite, like wasn't nasty. She's like, yeah, so, but the teacher responded really nicely. Somehow a few hours later, when the teacher saw her, the teacher said, the email was being disrespectful. And then my daughter immediately texts the president of the school. And then, yeah, she was crying. And then she texted the president. She's like, he did this. And then she was able to fight the teacher. So I was kind of proud of her,
If the teacher emails her back and says like, it's something polite, and then she comes in person, it's not polite.
Yeah. And then he called her like in private. He didn't talk to her, like she doesn't have any witness.
So he was trying to hide it.
Yeah, so he was like being nasty, right? Yeah, so I don't understand. Like I always like, how can he be so emotional? Like, like he was nice, and I was actually happy. She screenshot both like her email and the teacher's email. I said, okay, so that's good. Like now you express your opinion. So do you feel better? She said, yeah. I said, that's good then. So that's very good. And then she called me. She's like, she started crying. She's like, he said I was being disrespectful. So yeah. So but if it's me, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. Like I won't be able to, like fight or yeah. So that's good. And then another category is individualism versus collectivism. We already kind of talked about it. Okay, like you guys, when you grew up, okay, let me. It's maybe if it's too personal, let me know. Did your parent pay for your tuition for college? Okay, so yes. So do you expect your parent to pay for your tuition?
It's kind of like a give and take. So my dad pays for my tuition, but I have to do something for him. So if I don't give him good grades, then I pay for stuff. If I don't give him good grades, I'll pay for X, Y, and Z. So
Okay.
it's like,
How about you say no? So what do you do? So they've been telling you they won't pay for the college.
I mean, they help me if I need it, but it's
Okay.
mostly just,
Okay,
Or it's gonna be like, I was expecting maybe the majority of it is like, if I don't get like something paid for, like grants or scholarships or something like that, then it's kind of falls.
okay.
I get a little help, but that's not.
How about if you go to master program? Will you expect your parent to pay?
I don't plan on going there, so never thought about it.
Okay. Not at all, right? Yeah, so in Chinese culture, I didn't expect my parent to pay. Well, I didn't think about it until, like when I come here, but somehow my parent paid for my MBA. Yeah, my parent paid for my MBA, and I didn't think it's wrong at that time. Now to think about it, I didn't save money for my own education. My parents paid for the college. I think I told you, but my parents never gave me any allowance growing up. Even when we like need to work in a farm, when we need to work, for my dad's business or stuff, they never pay us. They don't expect us to get paid. Okay, I never have any allowance. And what else? Yeah, but they pay for my college. So when I went to college, my mom gave me about like $100,000 or $200,000 in a saving account so that she think I will be secure.
when I was growing up, I never got like an allowance, and my younger and step siblings, they both get allowances for like less than I ever.
So how do you feel?
Shame.
How much younger they are? Like how many years?
One's 18, one's 14. So at least only a few years.
Oh, they will start. Yeah. Yeah, so,
So, and they have like so much money in the bank now, 'cause they live at home, they eat at home, they go to school, like they don't.
yeah,
They need, so they get a bunch of money and then they just have it all. So they spend it on anything besides like what they really want.
okay. Yeah, but this kind of shows like, like the Chinese parents, the Asian parents, they always try to like cover for their kids. Like my friend, her daughter is applying for college like now, and she got accepted by UPID, by the what is it, the pre-med, and it's very expensive to go to medical school. And yeah, they never they haven't heard anything back from about the scholarship, but she got the acceptance later. So she just go. She's like, no. And I know they don't have savings. I know my friends that she spent a lot. So she doesn't, that's unlike Chinese. Most Chinese have savings, but she doesn't have savings. So she said, no, I can't. She said, we've been living on paycheck to paycheck. I don't want my daughter to have so much student loans on her. I said, what can you do? And yeah, but that's in like even for her, that's something that I think a lot of American parents, like even now I told my daughter, when you are 18, you are on your own. I'm not going to pay for your college, because I don't have money. I can't afford her college. So you have to get scholarship or some kind of aid. Yeah. So that's one category. Some culture, they are more individualism, like they focus more on individualized, how do you say that? Like individual welfare. And then some culture, you have to like sacrifice for your family. You have to sacrifice for, the greater good. Okay. And people are okay with that. Like my mom, she never really buy anything for herself. She always, whatever, like I told you, I gave her red envelope, every time, like on her birthday, on Mother's Day, on New Year's, I always give her red envelope. She doesn't spend it, she just save it. And then she just, she's thinking about like giving me or giving my brother the money. She just, yeah. So that's the difference. And then uncertainty avoidance, like in some culture, people are more like score high in uncertainty avoidance, then they will be worried more about long-term stuff. And then some culture, people don't think about much, like they don't really, they are not bothered much by uncertainty. Okay, what do you guys think you are? Like,
I hate change.
Hmm?
I hate change.
You hate
So
change?
when something is out of routine or uncertain to me, it like, I wouldn't say I like freak out, but I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, are you accounting major? You should try to do accounting, because yeah, because it's accounting is like routine every year and every year.
I don't want to do it with numbers.
Huh?
No, I was just saying, I was just thinking, it's like, when you want to learn and stuff, it was once a year for business.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's accounting, like, I don't like, I get bored easily. So, so that's why, even though, you know, when I was a student, I was good at accounting, but I know I cannot do the job because I'll get bored, you know? Teaching is different. Teaching, you know, every, even though we might teach stuff, similar stuff every year, but when the students are different, it's different, right? You guys have different questions, different opinions, so that's different. So, you know, some people, they don't like uncertainty, and like in some culture, they just have a lot of savings. They are worried that something might happen, you know, like a lot of my friends, they have a lot of money, like, because they are worried something might happen. And I'll be like, insurance, you know, what's,
Insurance likes to.
Yeah, like, you're smart enough to trust insurance.
so I'm not smart. Somehow it works out, like I'm,
Insurance will find any way not to pay.
I work insurance, so I'll tell you, don't trust insurance.
Yeah.
It takes so much for the claims to be paid out, like,
no, but not the insurance, we have health
oh,
insurance.
health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so there's not much that, I don't know, not much we need, I don't
Right,
think,
right,
yeah. So as long as I keep my job. And then we have masculinity versus femininity, okay? Some cultures, they are more masculinity, some are a little bit like close to femininity. So do you guys know what's masculinity? What does that mean?
You know,
Male features, like, you know, okay. And femininity?
Women,
like,
like feminine.
So what do you think about US?
I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. European, maybe a little bit closer to, right, femininity, yeah. So long-term versus short-term orientation. So that's, I think a lot of, maybe Asian, I don't know about US, what do you guys think? More long-term or short-term?
Short.
Short, right? They're relatively short. I remember my ex, usually like I would say like, oh, we need to save for this. She's like, and he'll be like, you need to enjoy the moment. He always say, you need to enjoy the moment. And at that time, I always like, no, we have to do this now, you know? Yeah, so it's different, yeah. And then the six dimensions, actually now they have like 9 dimensions, but you know, we have the indulgence versus restraint. There's some overlap here, right? Indulgence versus restraint. I become more indulgent now. I will travel a lot. I will spend all my money and not really restrain too much. Yeah. So this is the famous categories to categorize different culture. Different culture have different score. And as we talk about, because culture evolves, okay, people will change. So these numbers are like changing every year. And so his work has been criticized because, you know, he only studied IBM. So there might be bias there. And some some culture, they are not included in the research. But like I said, later on, they have this, huge database that people study different culture, collect different data. So now they have like 9 categories to study this. But also another critique, it's not listed here, is, when we don't want to have stereotype, right? Like we did the exercise, we don't want to have stereotype, but to study culture, we will have some kind of stereotype. We'll be like, oh, in US, people are more individual towards individualism, right? So that's a kind of stereotype, but not everybody, there's a professor, she retired. Her mom lives with her. Her mom is 90 years old, live with her and her husband. This is like not common in US, right? Your parents usually don't live with you, right? So is it common?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's common for some people, but I think most of the time, American culture, I think they probably send them to home.
Yeah. So that's so this is another thing. Like when I live in I used to live in Allentown, near Allentown, and where we live, there's a home next to us. And whenever we pass by, I always told my mom, I said, when you are older, you can live here.
You become parents of all.
Huh? Do you know there's a cycling center, Rodale? I live right next to Rodale. And then there's a home right next to, like Rodale's here, I live here, and then the home is here. So whenever we turn, we pass the home, and it looks nice. So I said, this looks nice, and it's near the park, the Rodale. You can, and she likes to walk there. So I said, if you live here, you can. She got so mad. She was so mad, she didn't even show that she was mad. She complained to my aunt, yeah. And then my aunt said, do you know when you were joking, your mom took it really, really like personal. Yeah, she got really mad. So this is not, it's not, our culture is you have to take care of your parents.
Your parents and your parents.
Yeah, so yeah. So when I grew up, we had 4 generations living together. 4,
That's
like,
normal, yeah. That's normal.
yeah, so my I'm the last generation, and then my dad, and then my grandpa, and then my grandpa's mom, our great grandma. She lived with us. Yeah, yeah. She already passed away. She passed away when she was 98. Yeah. So, but she actually passed away before my sister. Oh no, after my sister had kids. So we actually at certain moment of time we have 5 generations living together.
My mom and dad just told me all the time, it was just like, we're gonna die soon, so you gotta know how to like take care of yourself. So I grew up.
No, but I actually admire it. Like I know some old ladies that's like 80, 90, they can still drive, and then they will go to gym every day or go to church. But my grandma, when she was 70, like when we were little, when she was 70, she need my dad to take her to see the doctor, whatever. Like if she wants something, she would ask us to buy it for her. She would not do anything. Like she will walk the dog. And then she will walk to the neighbor and chat with neighbors. That's all she would do. She doesn't know how to like take bus. We have to take care of her. Yeah, but it's not like she's not healthy. She is healthy. She chases. She used to have the stick chases and then whip us. So yeah.
Hebrew with a wrench.
So she's healthy, but she doesn't like. It's not like in US, and like the same thing as my mom. My mom knows how to drive, but somehow when she now at her age, she doesn't drive at all. Like she has to, like she asks us to take her everywhere. It's just weird, yeah, it's just weird, like, I don't know.
That's what it is.
Yeah, she just watched TV now, like every day she watch TV and, so it's different. Okay, so there are some other framework to study culture and I'm just going to skip it really quick. So, like this one had 9 dimensions and it has a lot of overlap with the Hofstede. But Hofstede is the most famous one. So, like I say, culture change and then there's no boundary. The cultural boundary, culture is like some kind of boundary, but it's not the same as the country's boundary. So for you guys, as a manager, you need to kind of understand the cross-cultural literacy, try to respect. A lot of times we joke a lot, right? Sometimes some jokes are like some people would feel offended. So, never overlook the fact that as long as some people feel offended, you shouldn't joke about it. But if someone is okay, then I guess it's okay, but just be careful, okay? So any questions? Okay, so let me go to the next chapter really quick, okay? The ethics. I don't like ethics, but let's talk about it. Okay, so in the international business, okay, so ethics is like the basic, like a principle of right or wrong, sometimes we think, oh, something could be legal but unethical, okay? So we want to do things that follow the right conduct, okay? So when we do business, if we follow ethical strategy, that means it's a strategy that we want to make sure people in the business will do ethical things, okay? And if someone is doing unethical things, people would, kind of correct it and then point it out or report it. So for international business, the most common ethical issues would be the employment practices, like we heard the child labor, okay? Human rights, in some places, we also talk about it, in some places they don't really respect human rights. So should business do business there? Okay, what can we do? And then environmental pollution, different in different countries, we will have different environmental regulations. But if, let's say, if we work for a US company and let's say in China, the environmental regulation is much looser, like, it's easier. Should we follow the rule there or should we follow our rule? Because we know we pollute the environment there, okay? So those are things that we have to kind of think about it. Corruption is the most common one because in a lot of places, like in Chinese culture, we like red envelope, okay? But in US, actually, we did training and I realized everything over $50 is considered a bribery. Yeah, so when you if you are giving me gift card, make sure it's less than $50. So I did the training and then it says in US, everything over $50. Like if you give a teacher what is it? The travel package, okay? A tool, free tool. It shouldn't be over $50. So when I give gift card to my daughter's teacher, it's always like less than like $50. Yeah, corruption. And then different moral obligations for the multinational companies. So so what could be related to the employment practice? Okay, the work conditions. Okay, did I tell you one time I visited India and they told me, that India in summer, very, very hot, right? So one year, the year I visited India, it was the summer. And I remember it was like 44 something degree Celsius. So what Is it 120? Let me see.
I've never understood the conversion.
It's like minus 32 divided by like 5.9 or times 5.9/5, something like that.
What's it, 44 degrees Celsius?
Yeah,
Hey
44.
Siri, what's 44 degrees Celsius?
It's faster. I still try to
111.
111. How about 45?
Hey Siri, it is 45 degrees Celsius in temperature. 113.
130. Oh, so it's around 113, 111, 113, 112. So yeah, so 1 year I went to India, it's about 112. Okay. And they use Celsius, so it's like 44 point something. And then I talked to but in the factory, it's really, really hot. They have no AC. They have, yeah, it's really, I visited several furniture factories. So I talked to the people there, and then they were like, "So it's so hot here, and it's so like dusty as well." It's not like in US, the factories are clean. You know, have you guys worked in the factories, or the factories are actually clean, and like the tours are like you guys, you know, American factory, the tours, they organize it, and the tours are actually clean. But in other places, the tour place, like usually, I remember like even in Taiwan, it's all like greasy, it's dark, it's dirty, you know. Yeah, but in US it's clean, the floor is clean. But in India, like we have the wood dust everywhere, and I can barely see, you know, because it's flying all over the place. And so the people complain. The people complain, they say, if you look at the, you know, the weather, like they show you what's the temperature, it's always 44 point something. And then he said, look, it's already over 45. So it turns out they have the law saying that if it's over 45 degrees Celsius, they don't need to work. So the weather forecast is always 44.5, 44.4. So it's never 45 degrees, but it's actually like close to 46. So it's in some countries, this is like really bad. The work environment is very bad. But the difference is, so since everybody in India is doing that, the question will be, if you, as an American company, if you have a factory in India, are you going to follow the American standard, or are you going to do the host country India standard, or something in between? Of course, well, it's, yeah. So he said India, the India standard. You say whatever make the most money. So the India standard probably, because you're not going to close your factory, and then you're not going to put in AC, you're not going to do all those kind of stuff.
Something in between, maybe.
Is somebody talking here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Austin.
Oh, Austin. What did you say?
Something in between.
Something in between.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of more like American standard, because at the end of the day, there's still people, you know, maybe get more people trying to apply for the jobs and stuff.
See, this is the right answer for ethics class, okay? But in reality, I appreciate you guys are being honest, right? So in reality, of course, here I can say, well, we need to be ethical. We need to respect their life.
If this situation were to happen, like your situation, what if you put like a big, like warehouse in there with air conditioning? And you said they can't work at over 45 Celsius. So if you got an air conditioning, you can work all day.
No, but everybody, like, the temperature will never be over 45.
Oh, what you mean, like, inside the building?
No, like,
Oh, outside, oh.
it will never be, yeah, because officially the weather focus bureau, they never report the correct
Oh, I see.
temperature. So what would you do?
Oh, I see what you said. Oh, switching it up.
Yeah, see, that's the part, but like, you know, we know it's like really difficult to work in the kind of environment, like, where's the place have the World Cup? Doha? Qatar, yeah, Qatar, Doha, right? So they had a lot of complaint, like, I wouldn't say they kill like hundreds of thousands of people, but they make people work 12 hours under 120 degree, okay? With really shitty pay. So, and we know it's unethical, but hey, they get this nice soccer field, and the you know, the game was kind of, you know, it's successful, so. Yes, yes. It's, how should I put it? It's not pretty good, but it's better than the average pay. So like we saw, did I show you about the, did I show you the Foxconn factory back video? No, for Apple, to make Apple phone. I show you that, right? I remember I show you that. So they work, they one shift is like 12 hours, so they get paid maybe $1, $2, $1 per hour, right? So even that, they will get how much? So let's say $25 every day times 20, they get $500. Okay, $500 per month for working 12 hours every day. You think it's shitty, but the average pay in other factory is $200 a month. So they make $500 a month. But still, it's like their living quality is very bad. Like, I don't know if I told you, I used to work also in Shenzhen area, and I work closely with the furniture company. The furniture company pay $150 US per month. Okay, and they will rent a place, and they will pay like $50 because they share, like it will be like 7 or 8 people share the same room. They will be sharing the same room. They pay $50 for, you know, room and board or whatever, and then they will be able to save at least $150 to send it back home. Yeah, so that's, you know, but the living quality is really, really bad, but they can still, but in the inland, if they don't get out to work at the factories here, their pay is probably $50, less than $100. So by the money they can save, still more than what they can make. But is it like, it's better than what they are supposed to get paid, but is it really good? You know, it's not, you know, so this is the thing that I don't know. I still don't know, because I know if I own the business, I would try to save money. Yeah, I know that's what I know, but do I feel bad for those people? I do, you know, so that's why, you know, you guys have to think about this. We just need to think about it, okay? I wouldn't tell you what's the right thing to do, you know, it's your own decision. But the company should, like, establish the minimum acceptable standard, but it's difficult. Everybody has different standard in what's acceptable, right? Like we say, they already make much more than they can make back home. And they can, like in Apple factories, the Foxconn, they make much more than other factories. So difficult to kind of talk about it. But we need to, you know, as a international business, we need to try to do something correct. You know, many years ago, Nike was, what is it called? But people found out Nike's factory hire a lot of child labor, like 8 years old, 10 years old, and then they boycott Nike. It was a long time ago. You guys probably, yeah, and then it actually hurt Nike's business. So after that, you know, company tried to do ethical things.
What was that?
It was a long time ago. It was, look it up. Before you guys were born, I think. Look it up, like Nike child labor, and then you will find the, yeah. The thing. So the main thing is that you don't want to get caught.
96.
96, were you guys born? Ooh, so,
Oh,
yeah, so, and then, human rights. So in US, human rights are taken for granted. We can pretty much say whatever we want, you know. I actually took picture, like, people will put like in front of their yard, they will say like Biden. I forgot that it, oh, it's Biden, or, you know, Trump something. Yeah, so I'll be like, this is, you know, I took pictures and I want to show, like, because I was going to teach in Japan. So I thought, oh, I can show people this. Like, even in China, I don't think people would dare talk shit about,
no, not even close.
you know? So, yeah. So, you know, so I was like, oh, this is so cool. You know, I took pictures I was going to share with students in different countries. Yeah.
They were
So-
like, what the hell is wrong with them?
And how could they do that? Yeah, anyway.
I heard in North Korea, it is a law that if your house burns down, you have to, before saving your family, you have to take your portrait of
Yeah,
Kim Jong-un
yeah.
out first before you can save your family.
That's so crazy and set up with people.
That
They just hide the Kim Jong Un and then just set your house on fire. We used to do.
Did you guys watch?
I don't know.
There's a show on Netflix, Korean show called Crash Landing on You. Have you guys watched that? Crash Landing on You. Crash Landing on You. You guys, yeah, you should watch it because it's a South Korean girl. She was doing the flying thing, and then the wind blew her to North Korea. So you guys should watch that because they kind of talk about the difference in North Korea and South Korea, and you will see. Yeah, on Netflix, Crash Landing on You.
So the wind blew away her freedom?
I see.
Not freedom, yeah.
Pretty much.
No, but she was hiding. She was hiding in the village. Yeah, so
A paragliding mishap drops a South Korean in North Korea and into the life of an army officer who decides he will help her hide.
yeah.
16 episodes.
Oh, I already showed you guys. Oh.
Oh, it's not one paragliding ever.
Okay.
When you actually based off real people.
Swinging? Yeah, I read that. That's what you.
With the mask on, they can't. And they do that shit here too.
I know. No, man, I'm not even making
So another thing about human right is sometimes some company, they will exit the country when the country, you know, really like jeopardize the human rights, okay? But the question is, like we talk about Google exit China. So the question is, what if actually, if Google stay in China and they provide a lot of information without, what's the word, without censoring? Without what? Censorship, yes. Without that, would it help actually Chinese people to understand, you know, what is right, or even North Korea, would they understand whether or not, you know, it's right to, when you have fire, when you experience fire, you can, you know, run first before, you know, like this portrait is more important than your life. Yeah, so if we have that, like give them those assets, maybe they will learn better. You know, during the pandemic in Taiwan, we have like very strict lockdown policy. So everybody has to stay home. And when you are in quarantine, you have to like, they would, you have to stay in the room with a separate bathroom. So basically you cannot get out, okay, for 14 days. Yeah, so, and then you have to have your phone with you all the time. They track you where you are with your phone. And they will call you every 30 minutes. So you cannot leave your phone at home and then leave. So one time there was a fire and this guy was afraid to escape. He died because of that, because he is in quarantine and there's a fire. He was afraid to get out.
With them calling you every 30 minutes, how does the work get done?
You need to bring it. You just need to bring your phone with you.
Yeah.
They call you while you're sleeping?
No, they wouldn't call you while you are sleeping.
It's like certain hours where.
Yeah.
So that is your freedom.
So you're telling me he died burning alive with the thought of should I leave or should I not leave?
Yes.
That's a life or death right now. I'm out.
Right? That's crazy, right? But that's like, you guys know the life is more important, but because it's so strict and people get like $10,000 fine if they break the law, like, but 10,000 is still, yeah, but 10,000 is, it's a lot, but it's not worth of your life, you know? Yeah.
I guess you could.
So that's how is different. Yeah, even for some place like Taiwan, that's crazy, right? So, and environmental regulation. So like I say, some places it's looser, some places more strict. So when you run business, I remember someone say, well, we tried whatever benefit the company the most. So is it really a good thing? We already know this is going to pollute the environment.
So in John, the picture, John,
What?
did anybody die today, like a family? Not getting a picture out?
I don't know.
He's the one who,
I have no idea.
you
I
would
just know,
never know,
I
they
just know
would
the
not,
law.
they would not tell you.
Yeah.
See, they would not tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Apparently, allegedly, in North Korea, since the media is so censored and controlled, they apparently tell their people that they have won the past few Olympics. And like how North Korea has won the most gold medals and all that stuff, but they don't know any different because all the media is censored.
oh, I remember a joke. So how bad their media is censored is, one time Kim Jong-un said, our team finally, we successfully landed on sun. And then, and then one international journalist said, so how did you land on sun? It's so hot, you know? How did you do that? He said, we did it after dark. And then they said, yay, great, like, yes, salute to our. The sun's still there. Yeah.
So, when the sun turned off, we went, you know,
They said the sun is hot.
Yeah,
It's green.
and they were like, yay, yeah.
So they think what, just the sun shuts off.
It's just a light switch.
So this the Foreign Corrupt Practice Act. Ban us, ban Americans to bribe any foreign officials, any foreign, whatever. Okay, even though if it's legal in that particular country. Okay. So what do we do if we go to, let's say, China, that you have to bribe someone to get your paperwork passed? What do? Do you quit to tell your boss, I can't get it done? And then your boss said, how come this competitor, they can get it done? You say, oh, I quit, or how did you do it? Suck it up, but you pay? But what if you get caught? Hmm?
You gotta do it a different way, like, I'm buying the company, something different. That's what we do.
So how do you do that? Yeah, that's why I hate this class. I always ended up teaching you guys unethical things.
I got really stuck.
So you,
Nah, cause I was looking at this and I was like, there's no way this is good for you. Like, just popping candy.
you just put it on your tongue.
Nah, like I had Pop Rocks before, but then I was just eating it. I was like, I haven't had them in like years. I was like, damn.
I didn't know they still made them.
This is, I like it because it's actually good if you put it in your yogurt. And then just eat it and then your yogurt will be puffy. Or plain, you put it on the flame. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. If you can put it in the flame.
it will be good, yeah. So what do we do? What do we do? So if you are sent by your company to start a company in China and to get everything approved, to get paperwork approved, you have to bribe someone, but you're not allowed to bribe. And your boss say, but why is this competitor, they can do this? How come you cannot get it done? How come they can do it without bribing? So what do you do? What can you do?
Probably research into that company. Or go on the
Go to a different country.
Go undercover. Work for them. for
Take
them.
them out to dinner.
Take the other competitor
Yeah.
and then
Just pose as an
get
investor.
them drunk.
Be like, I want to invest in that company.
Find out what we know.
Okay, you hire a consultant company.
Private investor.
We showed them what there's money about.
You pay consulting fee. That's the money and they will take care of stuff. Okay?
Yeah, right.
And this is recorded.
So you basically tell me that's what the so.
That's what I do. Honestly, that's what they do.
So I
Yeah.
would never believe a consultant.
Yeah. So that's it. We are going to finish up on Thursday after you guys presenting. I'll just show you some videos about ethical dilemma. Let me quickly take attendance. Take more candies or, whatever.
Wait, so what are you winning if we take more candy? I'll just grab the whole thing if you're winning, bro. I'll just take the bag.
Take the candy, make sure you give me 5 under evaluation. That's bribery. No, I don't need the evaluation.
us.
Yeah. So this.
So 10 extra credit points per candy.
Okay, Stuart Anderson, did you talk?
No.
Austin Brown? Oh,
Yep.
did you talk? I think you did,
Yeah, I
right?
did.
Okay, German is, did you talk? You talked? Yeah. McGill, yes, Clarence? You know? Jessica?
I didn't talk to you, but I'm here.
Oh, okay. Kevin, Jessica, you need to come here. I'm the only female here. Feel lonely. Kevin? Yeah, right.
Professor, I'm here. I just didn't
Justin
talk.
Halbert? You talked, right? Yeah, you did. Mehmet? You still didn't talk?
Yeah, about what we're doing, man. But at the gym,
Jacqueline?
this guy's on.
Victoria? Madison? Jones?
Here.
Oh, Madison, you need to come here too. Rachel? I need some girls. Thomas?
Here.
Justin McLinton, you talk? Trevor? Trevor?
Professor, I'm here. Thomas.
Don't treat the old timer, old lady. Justin, you talk too.
Funny, I have classes,
Anthony, you talk.
I have classes like.
Tristan? You talk? Tyler? You talk a little bit? Okay. Elijah? Elijah?
Have a good day.
You do Matthew, Rosa? Wait, you talk, right?
Professor,
Oh,
I'm here. My mic wasn't working.
Ryan, I saw Ryan.
I'm here.
Julian? What, Thomas, is that?
Professor Wang.
Yeah, I'm here,
Someone's
Professor.
trying to tell you they're here on this thing.
Miguel, oh, Miguel is here.
Yeah, I was here. Sorry.
Miguel, I didn't see Thomas. No, okay, Thomas here. Miguel is,
I think I'm number 4.
okay, thank you, see you guys.
Question, Professor.
Yeah,
So if we wanted to double check and look over like a rubric for our presentation, what should we kind of like look at?
just a second, let me stop recording.